Hey everyone. Hey. So we're here, Cricket
Yeah.
Song and Obsidian Fire, and this is another episode of Deux, Wytches. Hey everyone in the chat, Amelia, Shaman Moon, Santa Morta, Devotee. And I know Paulina jumped in but had to leave. So, and anybody else that's watching, because I know there's more than that in the watching us live, because I have my little counter up there. So, hey, everyone. It's been, what, a couple of weeks? It's been a couple of weeks.
Can't remember. It's been.
We had a show right after the holiday, didn't we?
I think so, yeah.
I think so too. Do you know, it's so weird. The holidays just really mess up my whole, just everything, scheduling,
My
and
whole everything.
yeah, where I forget. And now that we're getting back into a regular schedule, just in life in general, the week seems so long.
So
crazy. Part of me likes the break that the holidays have, but part of me hates it because getting back into a regular routine is just always much more difficult.
Yeah.
Hey, Kimmy.
Okay. I wake up so early.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. I truly appreciate that you get up so early to do the show with me, but I don't know how you do it.
I don't know either, but I woke up before the alarm rang again. I was awake for 4 in the morning. I was waking at 3:40 something.
Was I signing? You know what? 3:40 something. Wonder what I was doing. So what time was that for me then?
+9.
So it was 3 in the morning for you.
Yeah.
And you're ahead of me.
Yeah.
So I have to -9, right?
Oh, minus.
So that would have been what, 6 o'clock my time. Yeah. 3 and 6 is 9, right?
Don't know. At this time,
I think so. I think it's 6 o'clock my time. So we were eating dinner. So I was like, maybe I was like thinking about you and no, I wasn't. Alex and I were Alex, my husband, we were having a conversation about our writing project over dinner. So
great.
Well, yeah, it's really exciting, but we're going to have to iron
that.
I don't know. We approach subjects, which we approach subjects very differently, right? From different perspectives, which is going to be a wonderful thing if we can make compromises, because we'll get a nice story going. But we got to find those compromises.
So find it.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with our topic.
Nothing. And sorry, it's all on me.
It has nothing to do with our topic. But yeah, my thought was maybe I was thinking about you, and which is why you woke up early. But no,
maybe because I opened my eyes just so suddenly, and I would explain you later. Okay.
Yeah. So tonight we're talking about guidance and mentoring within a witchcraft practice or magical practice. And I wanted to sort of discuss this because I know I watch Thorn Mooney's channel. We had her on the show last year. She wrote the book, what is it? A traditional Wiccan. I can't remember the name of her book. I have copies of it.
I see which book you're talking about.
Yeah, it was a witch book. She published it, or it was published last year, and we had her on the show. She is a Gardnerian Wiccan high priestess. And I watch her channel, and she was talking about covens, and she was talking about community and the importance of community, or, experiences with covens and community within, Wicca and witchcraft. And it got me thinking, and Obsidian and I have been discussing, community and support and guidance and mentoring and all that stuff. And I've been the high priestess of a coven. I've been the facilitator of an online coven. I've taught classes and created circles and done all that. And I kind of wanted to talk about the whole idea of guidance and mentoring and community for solitaries, because Obsidian Fire is solitary. And right now I am practicing I'm a solitary. My practice is very solitary right now. And how that affects us. I know a lot of you that watch my channel are solitary practitioners. Some of you do belong to groups. Some of you may even just join groups for full moons or for sabbats when you're looking at the wheel of the year and looking to celebrate holidays. But I think the majority of you out there in my online community are solitaries. And I wanted to talk about this because it's important, I think. So, I mean, Obsidian, what do you think, or what are your thoughts regarding, support and guidance and mentoring and that kind of thing?
Sometimes we need it. Sometimes we need it as solitary, and it's pretty difficult to find it. That was the topic essentially we've discussed. It's difficult to find someone you feel you can rely on, because this is an important point. Finding a group isn't that difficult. Finding a group you will feel you fit in, gonna be difficult. Let's face it, it's complicated to find really a group or even a coven inside of which you feel good, you feel listened, and you feel a part of. Because there is so much things that come into count. The schedule, we were talking about the schedule. It's difficult to have everyone at the same place on the same moment, and in the how can I, where the mind of everyone is. If everyone is set up on someone's problem or on their own problems, because we all have some, this is gonna be even harder to work with any group. So, but still, sometimes we do need to talk to someone who understands what we are talking about and what kind of advices or insights or we need.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, with the years of practice I have, and I'm sure the years of practice that you have in your craft, there still comes a time sometimes where you're like, I'm stuck on how to wrap my head around this situation that I'm facing. Or I've been doing shadow work and trying to deal with this one issue that I know I have, but I keep hitting a wall. And I have done readings for myself, and I'm having trouble interpreting the cards. Obsidian, what do you think? I got this, and I think it's saying this, but it doesn't feel right. Just someone else to even just kind of give their opinion can break you through a wall that you might have been stumbling against for months or, longer.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not that easy to find at least one someone you can talk to and you trust. Someone you trust. It's difficult to find.
Yeah. I think trust is a big thing. I think even in the circles that the casual circles I've been in, the learning circles where we didn't really practice magic, but we kind of just taught. It was almost like a social group where we all identified as witches, and we would all be reading. It was almost like a book club, social group, discussion group kind of. Even in those circles, sometimes it was just hard to really trust the people you were circling with or practicing ritual with, because sometimes if you walked into circle being very open and vulnerable, other people weren't. And I know I could tell those who were reserved and were holding back and were not willing to be vulnerable or were pretending to be vulnerable. And it's hard to really open up and really get feedback from and really talk about the things that are truly important to us, magically or mundanely, with people who are holding back. And you, especially if you're a witch, can read that energy of the person who's holding back.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And this is not encouraging.
It's not. And I think so. My thought is, even as a solitary practitioner, regardless of your level of experience, whether you're just starting out or whether you have been practicing for years, I think we all need at least one person who is some sort of magical practitioner who can relate and resonate with us, so that we have that other person to sort of help us grow in our craft, in our own self, understanding ourself, and expand our perception of everything, what we can do, what our limits are, help us work through that. I think it's important, whether you want to call them a mentor, whether you want to call them a witchy friend, or whatever label you give them. I think we all need at least one person.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't have multiple people. I think it's better for some people to have multiple perspectives to look at. But I think saying that we're solitary and you practice solitary is fine. That's how I choose to practice right now. But I still understand that I need Obsidian in my life. She needs to be in my life to help me grow.
Yeah, and it's true in the other way around. I need someone to talk to, and not any someone. And we goes along pretty well together. And it's an essential part. It's complicated to say this early in the morning, but the essential part of my life. You are actually, and yeah, and it was much more difficult when I didn't have anyone to talk to, and this was on for so many fucking years that I can measure how much it is important now.
Yeah. And there's a few things. Amelia was quoting, if you have friends, keep them as such. Don't tell your secrets much. If your friend becomes your foe, into the world your secrets grow. I definitely agree with that. But I think that when we're talking about friends in the mundane world who do not practice magic, who are of Cowan association, they're non-magic practitioners. Maybe they don't even believe in magic. Maybe, they think magic is just fantasy and Harry Potter kind of stuff. Maybe you don't want to share your magical secrets with them. Definitely understand that. But I think if you have friends who are of witchy or magic, or they practice magic, I think you can be a little more open with them and more vulnerable with them because they resonate with you. And I think if you trust them, and obviously, if you trust them, and obviously only are going to know whether they're trustworthy or not. You have your ways of being able to determine who you can trust and who you can't. I think then you can even be more vulnerable with those people, because then they become more than friends.
Yeah.
at least for me, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Of course, this is not about, telling everyone or this specific someone or those people everything about you, your practice, what you do, how you do right. This is not about having to tell everything. You choose what you are comfortable to share, as usual. It's more about someone who not gonna judge you, not gonna think that either you are doomed to hell or you are just crazy, totally fucking crazy, batshit crazy. No one gonna be, no one in the witchy community or the person you're gonna choose won't gonna judge you this way. And this is an important part because if you push off the table the person that gonna gonna think you're going to hell and the one that thinks you're crazy, there's not so much people left. So it's important to find someone. So yeah, it's more of being a part of the same, let's say, huge, not group but movement, maybe spirituality, that makes you more confident to talk about some specific subject you wouldn't talk about in any other situation.
Right, right. And I've, in my past, if I think about my whole, pagan, witchy, Wiccan journey so far, I have had mentors, people that I would call a mentor, who I didn't really talk about personal stuff with. And the one person I think of, her name was Xana. That was her magical name. Her name was Xana. She ran a metaphysical shop in the city. She was also a high priestess. She was a Gardnerian high priestess. She had her own coven. Now, I was not initiated into her coven, but because she ran the shop, she was still available for like discussions. Like she taught me how to read tarot. She actually gave me a reading list of books to read when I first began my witchy journey. And once
Mhm.
I read the book, if I had questions, I'd go back to her. I'd ask her with my little notebook of questions, and we would have discussions about it. And it was all evolved around my craft. It had really nothing to do with my personal life, although
Yeah.
it did, because my craft became part of my personal life.
And it's
But
always
I
like
didn't
that.
talk to her about my husband. I didn't talk to her about my children. She
Mm.
knew I had a significant other and children because they came into the shop once in a while with me. But it wasn't something we discussed. We really discussed magic, concepts, witchcraft. So I would call her a mentor, but I wouldn't share everything with her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of
And
course.
I think we can have different types of teachers or mentors or friends or just people that we go to when we are
Counselor.
dealing with something.
Hmm. Yeah, of course. Let's just look at how any of us is interacting with our friends. You
Mhm,
have several friends,
mhm.
hopefully, and none of them you're gonna interact with the same way, um, because they are all different, and each relationship is unique. So obviously you won't tell this friend the same thing that you're gonna tell this friend, and of course there is a bunch of things that gonna be commonly shared, but usually there is differences because it's the way it worked. We are all unique. They are unique. So each unique personality gonna interact with one another differently. So yeah, no, there is no obligation to share everything and to tell everything to anyone you have any kind of friendship with. you choose, you choose,
Right.
and it adjusts.
Right. And I mean, I totally get that. And I agree. I mean, and I think that, I mean, if you're lucky enough, or if you choose to be part of a group, and that group that you are working with on a magical level, you're able to be vulnerable with, and you're able to be friends with, and you're able to create a very intimate relationship with. And I think that's wonderful. And I think when you're looking for community and you have difficult times, if you're able to work and you're part of a coven or you're part of a group that have that intimate connection with each other, I think that's a wonderful thing. And I think you should celebrate that. But all of us, don't have that. We don't, or we don't have access to that, or we are wanting that and can't find that, or maybe we're just not comfortable working with other people, but we still find that there are moments in our lives when we could really benefit from another person's perspective or insight or input or guidance or support or help or mentoring or whatever you want to call it. We can have situations where we really could use that. And I think some of us, especially if you're coming from like Christianity or another religion, sort of buck from that, and we want to be solitary because we don't want to be told what to do or how to do it or when to do it. We're like reveling in our independence and solidarity of ourselves. We want to be solo, but I don't think it's weak to reach out to other people when we need that input or perspective. I think watching videos is good, but I think sometimes we need that interaction.
To interact, because watching a video is useful. Obviously, it can be very useful, even just to have another point of view, so, and make you think differently.
Exactly.
So this is good, but at some point, you're gonna have a question, or you're gonna have a specific little bit of the speech that you've heard that you want to talk about, because you are not sure to understand, or you would like to understand better where the person is at, and this time the video is not enough,
right?
Just for that. And when it comes to personal question, things that you need to get a different perspective on what you are doing, then a video can do nothing for you. Absolutely nothing, because this is too personal. Each situation is unique. So
I agree.
And you're going to need someone to talk to at some point.
Right. I think sometimes if you're watching a video, say you're on YouTube and you're watching someone's video, maybe it's not my video. God forbid it's not my video, but you're watching someone else's video and they talk about something in that video, a concept, and you're like, that makes so much sense, but how do I apply that to my practice or my life? How can I take what they're talking about and use it in a practical sense in my own craft? And maybe you try to reach out to that YouTuber, but they're not responding because they have 25,000 viewers or whatever. It's nice to have someone you can go to.
Yes.
And say, hey, I was watching, or I was listening, or I read a blog post. Someone talked about this concept, law of contagion. They were talking about law of contagion, and I know what they mean by that, but how does that affect my magic? How does that affect my spells? How would I incorporate the law of contagion to make my spell more successful? Is that something I can do? And if you don't have a group that you feel comfortable with, or you don't have a witchy friend that understands the law of contagion, or maybe they understand it, but they think, again, magic isn't real. If you don't have someone to talk to about it, how are you going to grow? How are you going to take this concept you're learning about and really apply it into your own practice if you don't have someone you can talk to?
Yeah.
Sometimes we need someone to say, oh, yeah, look it. what about if you look at it this way? Light bulb goes off. Oh my gosh. And then your practice expands, and all of a sudden now your spells are manifesting like they never did before because you didn't understand what the law of contagion was.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's difficult to find that when you are a solitary practitioner.
It is.
I'm a convinced solitary practitioner. So
yeah, she's never going to be anything but a solitary practitioner.
So true.
Amelia had a question about mentoring or teaching. So let's look at that. I mean, she said, if you're mentoring someone that asked you for help for every spell and every step in that spell, when/how do you say your turn? Meaning, she's going to step back now and they need to be trying their own wings. So when or how? And how?
Logically, the when is exactly the moment you feel that this person is too much a burden for you, is asking too much out of you. The when is this precise moment. The how depends on the how depends on, will you stay friend with this with this person or not? Because if you do not want to, if this person has sucked the life out of you, maybe the how should be a bit more harsh than necessary. And if this is a nice someone, well, try to explain it simply, like, well, I'm happy to help you, but I do have two problems to solve and I cannot be there all the time, and you need to fly in solo in order to learn. So try it out and we're gonna talk about the outcome afterwards. Something like this, something more smooth.
I think I think if you've been mentoring this person, I would hope that you've been like sort of tracking in some way their growth, that you've been seeing some sort of growth within them if you've been mentoring them over a specific amount of time, that and if they're still after, it's going to be different from person to person, from student to student. I mean, there's no, just like people are different, and they grow at different times and in different ways. People are like that. So it's going to be different. But if you've been mentoring them for a specific amount of time and you haven't seen any growth, then as the mentor, I would hope you would do some self-reflection and say, why hasn't this person been growing? And you might want to communicate with them. Hey, so-and-so, I've noticed we've been working together for 3 months and it still seems you're coming to me for everything all the time. Why is that? Why do you feel it's necessary? And then address those issues, because maybe you haven't been able to help them build confidence. Maybe you haven't helped them understand correspondences. Maybe they don't really get what you've been trying to help them with. Maybe they've just been saying, oh, yeah, okay. But they really haven't understood. I think in a mentoring relationship, there needs to be communication. And if you're not sure when or how to say it's your turn to do it on your own, then maybe there's been a lack of communication in what's going on. Generally, when I mentor someone, we have a set timeline. We say, okay, you want to work on visualization, or you want to work on correspondence work, or you want to work on energy work, or whatever it is that we're going to work on. Together, we're going to sit down and say, okay, this will probably, knowing the way that you learn, knowing, I'm going to give you some exercises. Here's a rough time frame. I'm going to expect, set up expectations in this relationship. If it's just a casual thing and you haven't set up anything and it's just a friend that's kind of interested in witchcraft and you kind of been just giving them advice, then it's not going to be as structured. But I like to structure things. So
We
I
know
just
that.
structure things. Obsidian and I, when are we meeting again? Oh yeah, Tuesday. Okay. I have to structure things.
Yeah, yeah, but
So
it's also about mountain life. We need to structure a bit because either way it won't fit in. So
no, it won't.
we need to
But I
structure.
mean, like with every person is going to be different, but I definitely agree with Obsidian was saying that, if you feel drained, if you feel that this person has just been taking and they're just constantly because they don't want to do the work on their own, then maybe you need to just be really harsh and really blunt and really straightforward and say, I can't be here for you all the time. I can't give you all the answers. And sometimes that's what it takes.
Yes, sometimes it is. And if you don't feel like being a bit harsh, or then just back away.
Yeah.
Stop answering. Just stop. You don't answer any text message that's asking you something. You don't pick this person call. You just step away a little bit in order to make this person understand that enough is enough.
Yeah.
And it goes the other way around. We are talking about the one who ask us things, but there is also people who gonna feel they have the right to teach you things all the time.
I don't let them teach me unless I ask.
It, it's not, I agree. The question is the same finally, because it's not good to have someone draining you by asking and
Soliciting. Yeah.
soliciting sorry soliciting too much of you all the time. But it's not beneficial either to have someone who control you. You
Right.
are not a puppet, are you?
No, I'm not.
Huh? Me neither. And I'm sure most of our friends out there aren't puppet. So you don't want that
Yeah.
either. Sharing, exchange of point of view, advices, good. It's all good. But at the moment you feel that someone is controlling you, then you are then out of your own path to be on their path,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Exactly.
not what you want.
No. No.
Be true to yourself. Know yourself. That's the first thing you need to do in order to progress.
Yep.
So following blindly someone, it's not, nah, you don't want that. So same thing, you need to end this, or at least slow down the process, because this possibly controlling person might just want the to be beneficial for you, but don't know how to stop or where to stop. This is also boundaries you need to establish.
Exactly.
Person,
Boundaries
and
are.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it needs to work in both ways. So yeah, it's talking in the chat.
Yeah. Kimmy asked us to say hello to her boyfriend. Hi, Scott. Hi, Scott Workman. Hello. He's watching us on his PS3. Hi, Scott. Let's see. Coastal Animist says a true friend will tell you when you're making a mistake. It's not judgment as much as it is tough love when you need it. Yes, Oberon. Yes.
He's agreed.
He agrees. Yeah.
Agrees.
Yeah. He was with my daughter. I don't know why he's out here now, but he is out here now.
Because he felt the subject was nice,
I guess so.
and when we start to talk about controlling people, it's
Right.
me.
Can't control
I need to go.
cats either, right? Establish boundaries. I did. Per Boogaloo said years ago, Cricket Song answered an email question for me and it helped so much and was so healing. I don't remember what, oh my God.
It's cuddling time.
Or is he just trying to go for the backdrop? Yeah.
Oh,
Do
yes,
you see
yes,
that?
yes, yes.
Yes. It's not cuddling time. Oh my God. Um, Per, I'm glad I was able to help you. That makes me feel so good. Oh, thank you.
It's it's about also the difference between having someone you can trust and ask something to and just have a conversation, more of a guidance than a mentorship, I think, because mentorship is different. It's more about a specific path that someone gonna teach you. But if it's about you, how do you ask a question to a mentor, a specific mentor, on a specific path? I think it's more complicated if you are not sharing the same practice, exactly the same path. So, counseling and guidance, to me at least, is more attractive than mentorship. It was a personal thought, but
All right, so I'm trying to scroll down and I see that Nikolai Gypsy is talking about being a parent or an uncle. Okay, if you're coming to me for answers and I'm your older relative, it's up to me to help you. I never once heard my parents tell me go somewhere else. And even though we're not talking about parents, it's almost the same thing. I don't know. I mean,
not sure. I'm not sure if you are answering every single needs of your child when he is in at the age he needs to slowly learn how to provide for himself. You're never gonna know how to do that by himself or by herself. So of course you're a parent, your duty is to help and to protect, but your duty is also to raise, to educate. And at some point, if you don't teach your child to think by himself, that
and to
doesn't
do
sound,
for themselves
yeah,
too. I
that
mean,
doesn't sound to me.
yeah,
You need to,
and Obsidian and I are both mothers. We have children. And if we're looking at a mentoring, a teacher, a mentor, a student, and a parent and a child, which if we're going to compare them in relationships,
mhm,
if we're saying that they're the same, the parent who constantly does for the child, makes their food, dresses them, bathes them, and doesn't give the child the tools or teaches them the skills to be able to do it for themselves, what is that child going to do when that parent dies?
yeah,
That child will not be able to care for themselves, take care of themselves, protect themselves, provide for themselves. Our job as a parent is to teach this child to be able to sustain itself, or herself, himself, herself. I
mhm,
think that's the same way a mentor teacher, a mentor and a student's relationship should be. And I think if that student is not learning the skills, the things, whatever it is that the mentor is helping teach and guide them, as I said, the mentor should look at why that student is not learning, have an open communication. Maybe the mentor is trying to teach the student in a way that the student can't learn because we all are different learners. Maybe
sure.
we haven't approached it in the way that that student can absorb the information. Or maybe we are not doing our job as a mentor and we need to do something.
Yeah,
Maybe it's us and not them.
yeah,
And I think if everything has been explored and nothing is working still, then maybe that relationship really wasn't meant to be, and there needs to be a separation.
Yeah.
Maybe that mentor has done as much as they can with that student, and now that student needs to find another or a new mentor who can bring them to wherever level they need to go to from there. That's my thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, teach to be critical thinkers. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
teach them to be to find solution. This doesn't mean that you're gonna let them go in the wild without just a piece of bread and some drop of water. Okay, this is not about that. You won't let them totally alone. You're gonna just try to give them confidence to find their own solution, their own way to deal with things with you in backup. You're there. But in my opinion, this is a mistake to not learn to your young relatives how to provide for themselves or to stand for themselves too, because there is a part in the confrontational part that it can have, and it can exist in a parent-child relationship. So at some point we're gonna butt heads, but it's a part of the process. They need also to learn how to stand up for themselves. you know it's a
Yeah.
part of that. It's of course everything should be in a healthy manner. Of course, we are not talking about someone who is just absolutely wild in a normal way. You need to help them to learn that too. And if you are too controlling or too providing, you're going to prevent them to evolve, to become more mature. And I don't think that's what you want.
I think, I mean, Nikolai suggested 18 years is how long it takes society to see that you have done your job. I think, as coastal animist suggested, um,
Yeah, it's an
that
yeah.
18 is just an arbitrary number.
Mm.
I agree, because I have known, I can look at my own children. One at 18 was very mature and ready to, they were working in a job, they were ready to live on their own. And I have another child who's going to be 18 and is not prepared yet. And it's
No.
not because of, it's because of the child. Like I said earlier, individuals mature and grow and learn at their own rate. And what may take one person a month to learn may take another person 2, 3, 4 months to learn,
Yeah.
or 2 days to learn. We each learn in a different way, and we each experience things differently. Our perspectives are different.
Yeah.
So I don't think there is one set time frame for everybody.
I agree. There is not. That's why also there is so many problems in the teaching system in so many countries, because it's meant to be exactly the same for each and every kid, and that doesn't work because we are not all the same. So of course it's not about the age we are supposed to. It's the moment the child is ready, and it's gonna be different for each and every one.
And yes, I agree. If you're going to be a mentor regardless of how long it takes. But I would suggest that there may only be so much you as a mentor can do for a student,
Uh-huh.
and that student may need to, when their time with you is completed, and that can only be determined between you and the student, can only determine that they may need to move to another mentor for other mentoring, for other topics, for other situations. And if that student, if you as the mentor feel as if the student is taking advantage of you as the mentor, then you have the right to terminate the relationship, because expectations, as I said, should be expressed prior to making the vow or making a promise or establishing the relationship between mentor and student. There should be expectations, there should be discussions before you embark on this relationship together. That's how I would do it. That's looking at a formal mentor student. But I don't think those situations, I think sometimes people just fall into that kind of mentor student relationship. And I had a casual mentor relationship with the woman I was speaking about earlier, Xana. Her and I would consider her my mentor, but we didn't have a specific mentor student. It was a casual thing. I looked to her as a mentor. I'm sure she looked at me as a student, but it wasn't a structured sort of situation.
Because most of the time it's not. Yeah, Nikolai is saying, I'm not saying that we should be monitoring people for 18 years. I'm saying that if I'm your mentor and you ask me a question or you need help, then as a mentor, I should prove you that help. I agree with that in some parts. You are, I mean, you, as a mentor, in my own opinion, as usual, it's not any gospel of any sort. It's just my opinion, my view on it. If you are a kind of a mentor for someone, and you feel that you have to help and answer and provide all the time, and each time someone is asking you for your help, at which point do you become a dictator more than a mentor?
Mm-hmm.
The mentor should ask himself question too.
Mm-hmm.
You are not a puppet master. You are
But
supposed
yes,
to
I
be.
am. I'm a puppet master.
You're supposed to be helpful, not controlling. This is not the same thing. So helping is good. Be there in backup is great. Being there to discuss things and offering your views, your advice is perfect. Dictate someone his conduct, it's not the same thing. You can, and you can kind of, and you should kind of put rules with a young child, to in order to help this child to fit into society and to learn respects and everything. But past that, in a mentorship thing, I don't think you should be controlling. Controlling is not the same thing as mentoring. This is not the same, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think there was something here I wanted to highlight. This is sort of what you were saying. A mentor relationship isn't about you dictating how long someone should be studying with you. You may not be providing the needed skills or teaching in a way that they can learn them, which is sort of what I was saying too, is like sometimes you may start with someone and realize that the way you're teaching isn't the way that they can learn.
Yes.
And when you recognize that maybe that mentor relationship isn't working for either of you.
Mm-mm.
Oh, thank you. He's not Russian blue. This is Oberon. He's actually a gray like tiger mix. He's not a Russian blue. Um, he had vaccinations a few days ago and he's not feeling too well. So, yeah.
It's attention.
One of the reasons why Obsidian and I brought this up, we have about 8 minutes left in the show, and I wanted to talk about this before we end.
Oh, God.
I know. Is that in this conversation that we've had, not just tonight, but previously, prior to the holidays, we realized that there was this sort of gap that maybe we could fill, or we could attempt to fill at least, right? That, as we said, many of our friends here online, people who watch my videos, people who participate in the group on Facebook, people who are participating in our community here online, are solitary practitioners, and maybe they need someone just to run something by. We have decided that we are willing to provide our time and our experience and our magical witchcraft practices with others. And we're willing to do this through what we've designed to be guidance sessions. We are looking to provide 45-minute sessions with people who are in need of someone to sort of help them with their practice, with their craft, with their building themselves as witches, growing as witches, becoming the witch that they want to be. And you can find, or there are different things we can help with. We can help with you working through your shadows. We can help you understand magic. We can help you with spell crafting. We will not cast spells for you, but we will help you craft spells for yourself. We can help you if you're looking to start a divination tool. We can try to help you. We can help you work through whatever it is that you feel you need support and help and guidance with. And you can find these sessions. I'm sorry?
Even if it's just a question you have.
Right. If there's a question you have
about something. Okay, just talk to us.
Exactly. It's those situations where if you were in a group or a coven, you would bring it to them. Yes, and they would offer you their opinions, their perspectives, their experience, their knowledge. This is what we're willing and able. We've decided we're going to put time aside to help people. Yeah. We feel called to do this. And we basically act as conduits to the spirit realm, and we allow the spirit realm to sort of work through us, speak through us, give us information to pass on to you according to whatever it is that you've brought forward in the session. If you're interested, you can go to my website, www.lunarwisdom.net, and under the tab that says Witchery on the top menu, click on Witchery. It'll bring you to a page, and these sessions are called Deux, Witches Guidance. We are only offering two sessions a month. And this is because of the time difference between Obsidian and I, the 9-hour time difference, and our schedules, that we can only offer 2 sessions a month. So if
there is too many,
if there's too many of you that want and would like our help, we are looking at expanding that. But there needs to be, there needs to be a demand for it.
Yeah.
Right now it's 2 sessions a month. We're going to hold them over Skype, and they can be as personal and intimate or as general and casual as you desire them to be. But just know it's 2 sessions per month. We're taking reservations now. It'll be first come, first serve. And you need to go and order that. There is a charge for the service, but I believe it's a modest charge. And ideally, it's really to help us or help me in the beginning to pay for this service that allows me to do these live streams for you with Obsidian, because I use StreamYard and it's not free. So to help compensate for this service that you can have her and I on every other Friday, 2 Fridays a month. See, we're looking for 2 sessions a month to help pay for the 2 Fridays a month, ideally.
Yeah.
So that's why we are chit-chatting about that tonight. Also wanted to extend this to you. There'll be more information in the Facebook group. I'll put up more information. If you have questions, please ask in the Facebook group. We want to help, and this is how we're looking to help with you.
Amelia, cricket song read professionally. I can read, but most of the time I choose not to. But
we talked about that. If you have a situation where you're looking for insight into it and you would want a reading, this is an opportune time for you to get a reading from both of us together. In a session. We will do that.
Tool. The idea is there too, is to be open-minded, because we are not specific path counseling or guidance. We are there to discuss with you. As usual, we are not any gospel. We are not pretending we're going to solve any problem you have by, some just Harry Potter magic. We are not pretending that, but we can assure that we're going to try to understand what is your problem, and we have some different tools to help us do that and to help you maybe better understand your situation, and we can, I think, provide with insights that might help you to solve your problem, or to answer your question, or to find your way, the idea is not helping us to be popular, is helping you to solve your problem.
Right. So we use cards, and I use crystal ball sometimes. So
sorry, I'm answering.
Yeah, I see the French.
Yeah.
She thought I called you Vivian.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful name.
It is, but it's not mine.
I know it's not your name.
Yeah, I'm French.
Facebook, yes. If you go to Facebook, we have a group called Deux, Wytches, the same as the show. And you just have to request to become a member. And as long as your Facebook account wasn't created today, we approve membership. If you just created the Facebook account so you could join the group and you have been one of our viewers, just send me a note that, hey, I'm so-and-so in your chat. I watch you every week, but I haven't been on Facebook, and Obsidian and I will approve you to join the group.
Yeah.
But our time is up. This kitty is so heavy. I know you guys can't see him, but do you see this?
Yeah. I know.
He's sleeping in my arms, which I love, let me tell you, but he's heavy.
Yes, and at some point, stop to run in your arm. It does that with my.
He's 12 pounds apparently. Gosh. So yes, check out our Facebook group. Oh, good. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. And we are going to do another show, not next week, but I think the week after. I don't know.
into we are
No,
in
no, because in 2 weeks I will be gone. So in February, I think the
yeah,
week in February.
for the next Sabbath we're gonna be on.
Yeah. So yes. So that's it. I think yes.
That's it for this week. Thank you
That's
all
it.
for being
Yes.
here. It was nice as usual. Thank you everyone that participated in chat, because it's always nice to exchange and share and talk and compare views, and that's really nice. So thank you all for being here, and I hope we're gonna see you next time. Don't forget to check the Lunar Wisdom website
Yes.
if you wanna have more time with us to talk.
Yes. Oh, this cat. He's pulling my ear things out. So anyway, yes, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the conversation. It was great to see you all, and we'll see you again soon. Love you.
Bye.
Blessed be everyone. Bye.